Guys, I'm super excited because we just hit 4K subscribers, a few days ago. Thank you guys for always coming through, for supporting your baby girl. Okay, thank you. I appreciate to all of you. Hi guys, you are most welcome to yet another tutorial video. If you are new here, you are most welcome. My name is Chichi for short, and if you're a 10 subscriber, I love you. Thanks for always coming back. Guys, I know that it's been a minute I uploaded. Yeah, that's because I had some very important engagements behind the scene, and even up till this point that I'm making this video, I had to just squeeze out this time to make this particular tutorial for the sake of one person, because she had requested for this particular tutorial for say 4 to 5 weeks now, and I've been posting it, and I just feel like I know she might feel bad if I don't get to do this. She might feel I've ignored her, which is not the case. Just that a lot has been happening, but you guys would not or might not always understand, so we just have to put up a front most of the time just to please you guys, because that's the reason why we are here. So with that being said, in this particular one, we are going to be making this particular beautiful shirt dress. And for this particular dress, there are some specifications, as you can see around the chest area. So this is mainly the concentration for this tutorial, how to achieve all this. By the way, for the sample, if you look closely, you'll see that the cleavage is kind of or this opening is deeper than this. I am not an advocate of bear it all, so I'm trying to be as conservative as I can be when it comes to exposing my body. So that's why mine is a little bit higher than what it is. But in case you want yours to look exactly like what we are trying to make, the particular measurement I use here, you can add about 1 to 2 inches in yours, just to achieve the depth we have right in the picture. Okay, that's just the disclaimer I want to put up before we proceed into the main tutorial. So with that being said, I've ranted enough. Let's just dive right into the tutorial. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like, and also drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let's get started. So with me here is the pattern paper I'm going to be using for this particular tutorial, and the first thing I'm going to be doing is to mark out the half waist length, which is about 16.5 inches. So from the upper part of the pattern paper, I marked downwards vertically 16.5 inches, that is plus 1 inch for the half waist length. Note that I always add all my allowances. So the next thing I'm going to be marking out that center part that has the button of the dress, that's the button part of the dress at the center front. Okay, so I'm going to be marking out 2 inches for that. You can also use 1.5 if you want to, but I prefer to use 2 inches, okay, just to make it a little bit bolder. So I mark that out and I have that connected. So next I'm going to be marking out the rest of the vertical measurements, which are the armhole, the breast point, and the underbust. And here I have the breast point, which is 10.5 plus half an inch to give me 11 inches. So I have that marked out, and I also have the underbust, which is 14 inches plus half an inch to give me 14.5 inches. So I have both points marked out, that is the breast point and the underbust connected. And next is the armhole length of 8.5 inches. So here we have the armhole length marked out, and I have that connected. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to get the shoulder measurements, and to do that we divide the shoulder by 2 plus 1 inch. And for the shoulder, we're not going to be starting from the center, we're starting from this line. So the shoulder of 15 inches divided by 2 give you 7.5 plus 1 inch to give you 8.5. So you have that marked at both sides like so, and then you connect to the vertical line. So next we're going to be marking out the armhole curve, and to get that you get the middle of the armhole length, which is 4.25, and then from at that 4.25 mark you come out by half an inch, and then you curve your armhole using your curve rule. You can also use your free hand, if you are careful enough. So this is how the armhole curving goes. After the armhole curving, the next thing we're going to be doing is to mark out the neckline width and depth of 2 inches width and then 2.5 inches depth. Okay, so the width for this neckline I use 2 inches, and the depth I use 2 inches as well. So, and I'm going to be curving that. The curve rule is not giving me exactly what I want, so sometimes your free hand can give you more exact shape than any curve rule. Okay, so for this line I extend it to the center fold of the paper like so. So I'm trying to reshape the neckline, and from this first neckline I'm going to be marking out another neckline of 1.5 inches, okay, from the first one, but this second one is not going to extend to the center fold of the pattern paper. So I connect as well like so. And next I'm going to be connecting the shoulder slant. So to do that, I come down by 3/4 of an inch from this point, and then I connect to the base of the neckline. So that's it for the shoulder slant. And then the next thing I'm going to be marking is sweetheart. So to do that, I come down by 4.5 inches at the armhole area, and then at the center fold area of this at this point, I'm going to be coming down by 7 inches. If you want the chest to be more open, you can use as much as 8.5, but I do not want that. So that's what I'm going to be using to connect the sweetheart. So at this point, I can't find my curve rule, so I just have to, make use of my free hand. I'm an artist, in case you don't know. So that's basically it. Like I said, you can come down depending on how deep you want, the chest to be open. So that's it for that. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is at this point, at this second neckline, I come down by 2 inches. Okay, so I come down by 2 inches, just mark that point, and then with your curve rule, you just curve like so. By the time you measure this part, should be giving you about 3.5 inches or 3.7.5. Next, we mark out our dart line. So at the half waist length, you divide the breast distance measurement by 2 plus half an inch. That's going to give you your dart line. So from that point up to the breast point line, I mark out the breast line, and then from the breast line upward, I connect to the straight line to this point like so. I'm sure you can see the connection. So that's it. And then from this point, I come out by 1 inch. That is by the side. Okay, that's for the dart line at the upper part, which I'm going to be connecting to the breast point. But at the lower part, that's the under bust and the half waist length, I'm going to be marking half inch on both sides. I'm going to be marking 1 inch on both sides of the dart line, so making a total of 2 inches for the bustier cut out. So at the under bust and the half waist, I connect with a straight line, and then I'm going to be connecting back to the breast point with our curve rule, just like we would normally do for our bustier. Okay, so that's basically it. You can see how the upper curving goes, and then the normal under bustier curving. So basically that's how you go about your curving for this particular one. So the next thing, I'm going to be dividing all our body circumference measurement by 4 plus our regular seam allowances. You already know how to go about that. So the bust, I divide by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance, and then I come down to the under bust. The under bust round measurement, you divide by 4, add your dart seam allowance and also your sewing allowance of about 1.5 inches or 2 inches, depending on how much seam allowances you want. And then coming down to the half waist length, you divide the waist measurement by 4, add your dart seam allowance and also add your seam allowances. So I then connect all the points together like so to give me the shaping at the side. So basically that's how you go about the pattern drafting for the front of this dress. So I'm going to be using this front to cut the back, or you cut the back before you cut the front, whichever one is easier for you, but I always prefer to use my front to cut the back. Okay, so and I'm going to be showing you how you go about that. So I'm going to be cutting out basically just the bodies of the front, but for the armhole, I'm going to be shaping the armhole for the back. Okay, so for the armhole, the front and the back armhole are not usually the same, so I'm sure you already know that. So as you can see, this is what the back looks like. I didn't pay too much attention to that because the front is the main focus on for this tutorial. Okay, and the back is longer because it has a collar, and basically we already know that I always like my shirts whatever to always fall to the front. So now for the neckline, I'm going to be using the neckline width that I used for the front, which is 2 inches, and then for the depth, I'm going to be using 2 inches as well. That's for the depth of the back. Okay, so I have that connected. So for the back, I'm going to be reshaping that's especially the shoulder measurement, and then the bodies. Basically that's because I didn't take out that part for the button. I didn't remove that for the back, so I'm going that excess of 2 inches I added for that button area at the front, I'm going to be taking that out at the back. Okay, so from the shoulder, I'm going to be doing that, even the bodies. Okay, so that's basically the amendments I'm going to be doing to the back. Okay, so that's basically it for the back, and then I have the neckline cut out. So we have the back ready. So remember, this place is placed on fold, it's not splitted, it's just one piece for the back because there's no joining at the back. So with that being done, we're going to be concentrating more on the front. Like I said earlier, the back is not the issue on ground for this tutorial. So I come back to the front, so I'm going to be cutting out exactly all we need to cut out. I'm going to be starting with the armhole, so we cut out the armhole and then the neckline. Just watch exactly how I go about all the cutting. Please follow every step, especially for the cutting. Just watch how I cut from the armhole for the sweetheart. You can see from the armhole, I cut all the way to this point. I stopped, and then I turned the scissors upward like so. And you see, just watch exactly what you need to cut out and what you don't need to cut out. Okay, so that's basically what you have to do to this upper chest area. So that's it. So you can see what I had cut out, and then at this point I'm going to be coming down by 3/4 of an inch. Okay, because I'm going to be forming like cutting out like a dart line there, and then I connect to this other bustier area like so. You have that cut out as well. Okay, so with that being done, the next thing now, you have to the bustier area to cut out. So we have the bustier lower area, we have that cut out like so. So basically you need to pay good attention so that you know exactly what to cut and what not to cut. So with that, our front upper back is ready, and also the back. And basically guys, this is what the pattern drafting for this particular dress looks like. Guys, I'll be seeing you guys in the next one where we are going to be making the dress proper. So thank you for watching and see you. Bye.